Hey everyone, Rob here. So it's been a couple of days since my last video. I did say I was going to consistently send some stuff out to you last week, but hey, come on. The weekend was good, wasn't it? Especially here in the UK. It was incredibly hot on Saturday, so I'm afraid I was too busy eating ice cream. But anyway, so I'm going to shoot a video here. It's the second mindset hack that I have when you're thinking about starting to create an online business and a life of freedom for yourself. So I talked in the first video a couple of days ago. If you didn't see that, I'll put a button below this video here. So I talked about having a very clear vision and also practicing mindfulness and self-awareness. And so when we've got this really clear vision of what it is that we want for ourselves and, you know, what our online business is going to look like, what our ideal day is going to look like, what then can happen is we can see that path ahead of us, but then we start to realize all of the different things that we have to learn and all of the actions that we have to take to get us to that goal that we have in our vision. And that brings on overwhelm. Now, this can be a very, very paralyzing place to be in and can completely stop us from moving forward. And you know, sometimes, one analogy I have is that, you know, overwhelm is, if you think of overwhelm as a vehicle, it's almost like one of these huge lorries that carry new cars, you know, from the manufacturing plant to the car dealership. You know, really cumbersome, heavy, difficult to steer, and but of course, what's actually on that transport? Was those individual cars themselves. You know, if we think of the whole thing as overwhelm, think about the cars as being the individual tasks that we have to perform to get to our goal. And actually, you know, what if those cars were exciting and fun sports cars? You know, what if you could take one of those out and go for a drive in that? Where would you go driving with that? You know, you wouldn't be driving like that big cumbersome vehicle. You wouldn't be driving that on the motorway. You'd probably take that on a nice country lane and you'd be driving, you'd be free and you'd be whizzing around the corners, carefree. I like to think of the individual tasks of themselves as being like that sports car, being free and easy and being in a space where we can be creative. You know, if we can think of the individual tasks that we've got to do as being like that, it can put us in a position where we have more freedom to be able to go on and do that work and not be caught up in that mindset of being completely overwhelmed. You know, when you've got all of these different things to do, so I mean, for instance, when you're starting off an online business, you're going to need to market that business, of course. That's the bread and butter of any online business, is acquiring customers. So the marketing, and there's different kinds of marketing you can do. There's Facebook, there's YouTube, you know, there's blogging, there's paid and free marketing. Then you have to learn about websites and landing pages and email responders and all these different kind of things. And for each different aspect that I've talked about then there's another 10 or 20 aspects of that aspect, and you know, so you can end up with hundreds of things to learn. Now if you line them all up like that, it looks very, very overwhelming, doesn't it? But actually what you need to do to reach your goal is to really start to focus in on just mastering one area at a time, and then actually putting the individual parts of that process on top of each other, learning one stepwise after each other. And if we do this, it's creating a long line towards our goal. then we start to decrease that overwhelm by putting things in order, doing things step by step, and understanding that it's going to take time to get there. Now, one of the really important things that was told to me a couple of years ago was this, and it was, don't be committed to reaching a certain goal within a certain time frame. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't set goals and that goals aren't important. It's just that quite often we don't quite reach the goals within the time that we want to. So don't be committed to the result. Don't be attached to the result, should I say. Don't be attached to a result, particularly within a certain time frame. Be committed to the journey of a solid vision and taking the necessary steps to achieve your desired goal. So hopefully that helps you there. The idea that to overcome overwhelm, we really need to start taking out the individual pieces of what is important, putting them together in a stepwise manner to be able to realize our goals. So tomorrow I'm going to check in with you about influencers and how your circle of influence can really affect your mindset and certainly your financial thermostat. This is Rob, over and out. Speak to you soon. Bye.